You guys do really well. All right. Um, so I there it is. This was a multiple choice, so I have the multiple choice options. So hopefully one of yours is that. We are going to do it together because I know some of us were struggling with separate and integrate. This would be a separate and integrate. And the beautiful thing is the people at the board, you guys knew exactly what to do because I see all these y equal equations. Remember on the AP exam, if it is a free response, don't circle the plus or minus. Just go one more step. Do you know what I mean? And then write it with a plus or minus in it. Okay? Just so the AP grader can see your plus or minus, and then they also can see what your final answer is. Because your final answer cannot have the plus or minus in it. Okay, I'm going to get this started in a moment. When you and your neighbor are done, you can sit down. Okay, but we will do it together. I did have the options up there, so if you're at home, you could pause this really quick. Okay, but we're going to do it together. And then we're going to do some more free response, and then we have to finish up the multiple choice. And then I have more multiple choice that we can do. If you are struggling, you can ask, and we can do any type of problems you guys want to see. All right. So usually, remember, it will say find the particular equation. And if it says find the particular equation, you know that it is a separate and integrate. So the first step, I will treat this as a free response. Nowadays, as free response questions, these are worth 4 points. So this is what you would do first. Whoa, dy. So you would have got a point if you just separated. Remember, if you forget the dy or the dx, you guys, you lose that point. Okay? Now the antiderivative of 1 over y minus 2. Now you should do u sub. And some of us, we've been here in the mornings, and people forgot how to like u sub. Okay, but your u is y minus 2. What is the derivative of y minus 2? It's just 1. If it was negative 1, I'd have to put a negative out in front. Yes, yes? So if that was 2 minus y, that's when the AP throws the curveball. But since it's 1 over something linear, that antiderivative is the natural log of the absolute value. Did you remember the absolute value? I will reiterate. If it was 1 over 2 minus y, it'd be the natural log of absolute value 2 minus, but then you'd have to put a negative out in front. Yes, yes? Okay, remember, that's the curveball. Okay? And then the other side would be, I get 1/2 x squared minus 2x plus c. That'd be worth a point, but you'd have to get both of them right now. Like in the old school days, they give you a point for each side, not anymore. Are we okay? And when a c shows up, what do? You find it, right? You find it. Okay, and that means they would give you an initial condition. Okay, plug a 5 in for y and a 4. Yuck. I get 8. Shoot, I got to do the math. That'd be the natural log of 3 equals, what would that be? That'd be 16. That'd be, 8 minus 8. I got 0. Did you guys get c equals the natural log of 3? Yes, yes? All right, good. Okay, so you get a point. But remember, that point is up for debate because you only get that circled point if you get your c correct and you remember the plus or minus. Okay, now to get the fourth point, I just have to be able to get y by itself. How do I get y by itself? I've got to get the log by itself. The log is by itself. When the log's by itself, I have to turn it into an exponential. So I need to know what the base is. What is the base of a natural log, everybody? It's the log base. E. You guys are so smart. So we get the absolute value of y minus 2 equals e to the 1/2 x squared minus 2x plus the natural log of 3. Oh no, this is a multiple choice. So that means I would have had to simplify, correct? I would have had to simplify. So then I get y minus 2 equals plus or minus e to the 1/2 x squared minus 2x times e to the natural log of 3. Okay? You could have put the negative 2x downstairs, but then you'd have to do it times the e to the negative 2. But just keep the x's together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this turns into a 3, and then I have to add the 2 over. Okay, so it'd be 2 plus or minus a 3e to the 1/2 x squared minus 2x. Now, what happens if I plug in a 4? I've got to get a 5. And the only way to get a 5 is if it's 2 plus. Was that a choice class, yes or no? This would be a really, right? this could be a potential multiple choice, but only if they chose this year not to have a separate and integrate as a free response. Make sense? They won't put it on both. Okay, and it's like very rarely, it's a 90% chance. Which one is it? It looks like it's when in doubt, be it out. Are we good? 10 points if you went to the board. Let's go. 10 points. If your entire team went to the board, everybody gets a shot. Is that any team? Darn. Oh, Erickson won. Darn it. No entire team. You guys only had 2. Darn it. All right. Okay, here we go. I got some reminders from College Board, so let's go over them real quickly. Make sure students know do you know your College Board account? You better, because we've been doing our AP Classroom stuff, right? Okay. It says to make sure you sign into Blue Book because you have to make sure you have the updated. Okay. Practice signing in. Luckily, our exam, I doubt, well, for some of you, this might be your only AP exam. So if this is your only AP exam, you better do this, right? Some of you have some next week. Raise your hand if you have some next week, right? Hopefully you've already done this. Did you already do this? Huh? Not yet? You better do it. Okay, you better do it. This is all okay, what do we have here? Consider having students. Okay, so make sure you do all of that. All right, let's keep rolling here. Confirm students see their digital AP exam. Can you see your exams? I guess you can, right? What you're signed up for, I would assume. Correct? Has anybody checked that? Please check it. Okay. It says you should see all the digital AP exams on your Blue Book homepage. So I am assuming whatever you're signed up for, like AP Calc and something else, you'll be able to see both of them, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 5 of them. Everybody got that? Please do that. Because if not, like the test doesn't get started on time, and that's annoying. You don't want to be the student that messes it up. Encourage students to practice in Blue Book. You can practice, okay? Some of our multiple choice and things we do are similar to that, but I guess Blue Book could be a little bit different. You guys probably should know better than me. Remind students about the materials needed for AP. Obviously, for AP Calc, you just need your calculator, correct? And make sure you are in Radian mode, right? If you're in physics, right? Physics is when is physics? When's the physics test? The 6th? So then you take that one. So make sure for physics you're in degree mode, right? And then make sure like after that, and I'll remind you guys, and then what to bring on exam day for us, right? It's just a calculator. Okay, here we go. You get a multiple choice question right. You get a shot. I mean, look at this guy. This was only 50%. Now, what I would highly encourage you to do on a question like this is an interpretation question. What I would highly encourage you guys to do on this one is don't you dare look at these. Don't you dare. Like, what do you think that means? Write it down and then say which one is like mine. Because sometimes you can read this and you can be persuaded into thinking something is right and it's wrong. So let's go. Write something down right now. Interpret what it says. And then get a shot for your team. We've been doing a lot in this class, so I really hope that we can get this one right. All right, so we should be clearing now, unless you want that worksheet I passed out as our pop quiz today. Right, we can always have this as our pop quiz. And if we're not collaborating, it will be a pop quiz. So let's collaborate. Let's get an answer on that board. Or let's just waste the marker. Bruh, it's not art class.
I'm writing the letter. It's very fancy.
Board's up in 5, 4, 3, 2. We have to have an answer. Oh, wait, you guys are collaborating. I'll wait, but you got to have an answer on there. They're collaborating. I like that. That'd be the good thing on that Sunday, the day before, come in and study for 3 hours. That'd be good stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Everybody got it right. Let's go. Let's go. How should you have done this? H. So you first say what H is without the derivative. Just what is H? So all you have to do is say H is the height above the ground. Right, you guys? So say what H is. H is the height above the ground of the passenger of the Ferris wheel. And then that guy means you should use the word increasing or decreasing, yes? And since it's positive, which word are you going to use? Increasing. And then what do you have to say? You have to make sure you say at 7.5 t is minutes, right? D could be your only answer. Everybody, let's go. One person from each team. Let's take a shot. We realized in B Day that it's just my A-B classes. You guys are really bad shooters. Both of them. Isn't that weird? I know, it's kind of weird. But that's going to change today because you're going to move that desk. Move that desk. No, that one right there. Yep, move it over. Yeah, you don't want that to get in your way. Oh my gosh. All right, come on. Can somebody make one today? Let's go. Shootsies! Oh! Loose! Darn it, Sergeant, that was it! That was the one! We're almost done with these shots. Right? Oh, shoot. Do you guys know we have what? What do we have left? 3 classes? No? 3, 4? 3? 4? 4. You guys get the extra day. You guys get a free day of review. Because I have you guys next Friday. B-Day, right? They lose out on that day of review. But luckily, I'll record class, and they can hopefully watch it. Darn it! So look at that. You guys, that's 88. Almost the end of the test. Supposed to be hard. Was that hard? Nah, shouldn't be hard. But a lot of us will read the question, and so we'll make it hard. Okay? Don't read the question on that one. Look at this guy. This was 50%. Come on! %. How is this 59, 89? Maybe you guys thought it was like going to be so hard. Remember, the more you collaborate, the more I don't want to give a pop quiz today. Ooh, I'm liking the collabs. I'm liking the collabs. Oh, it's just a different one, huh? Good collaboration class. I like it. Keep collabing. I'm liking this. That's good, Torres. Your displacement is 0. His situation, your displacement is 0 when you travel.
Yeah, and
Does that
that's
make
what
sense? Good job. They're asking how much total did you travel? Got that? You did displacement.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You did displacement. It's like if you're your house and it goes 6 doors this way and 3 doors back, you displaced from your house 3 units, but you traveled 9.
How do you know when it is going to be displacement?
Ooh, I have it on the board. I have to unfreeze it! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Oh, well, it's D, so B is displacement. Torres did a beautiful job explaining it to his team. Okay, he's like, if you're in your parking lot, you go forward, and then you come back in your parking spot. You displace 0, but you really still travel, right, you guys? So there's the difference between total distance and displacement. This is displacement when there's no absolute value. Everybody got that? So you displaced 3.5, right? That team got B. Okay, that was if it was just displacement. Okay, or where are you? Okay, this is total distance traveled, which means anything below you have to take the absolute value of it. Everybody got that? Like if it was a calculator one, you could have a like, really? This is supposed to be a calculator question. So usually if it's a calculator question, they give you v of t, the actual function, and then you better know to do an absolute value. Everybody got that? But this one here, you just had to be able to do areas and count up. But the answer was D. If you got D, go take a shot. Let's go. Yes?
So what would like the wording be for displacement in the question?
It would be what's the distance traveled. It wouldn't say the word total.
Okay.
Got that? When you see the word total, then that means it's the total. You got to take the absolute value. Now, if it's total bananas, like our problem the other day we were doing, that's about something entirely different. You don't do absolute value for something like this. This is just talking about distance traveled. Okay? Just distance traveled. All right, let's go. Let's make a shot. You guys didn't get it right, Mendez. But you get one because you brought me in candy. You get a shot because you brought me in candy. Oh my gosh, that was a good toss. Have you made one yet? You said no, right? Do we have any of your sisters out there? No? So you gotta do it for the family. Oh, you gotta do it for the fam. Really? It's. Oh, Stu! Stop. Oh wait, let me. Okay.
I know you got my sister.
Here.
Who's your other sister?
She graduated in like 21.
Where?
You don't have her up.
Oh, you're saying I had her, but she didn't make it. Okay.
I don't think she is.
Oh no! Oh, well, you just said she did. Ooh, that's. Come on! Somebody's got to make one today. We've been on a cold streak. I love you guys. I'm loving these questions. It makes me not want to give you a pop quiz today, and I really thought I was going to. This is just such an important question, but I do want to talk about it. Okay, but we don't need to do it because you guys did really well. I mean, 90, you're supposed to think it's tough. If the first derivative is positive, that means your graph is always, it's always increasing, right? It's always increasing, decreasing. So it's either A, B, or C. If the second derivative is always less than 0, then that means it has to be concave. So which one of those is increasing and concave down? C. When in doubt, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Okay? All right. What the minus 10? This team always drops the cap. Like, how is it always just one? Oh, let's go. You guys, look at that, 37.8. And I'm telling you right now, 91, oh my gosh, so hard. Not even close. Not even close. And for those people in the back, you're trying to find h prime of 6. And h of x is defined as f of x, g of x. And you want to find h prime of 6. All right, I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to do it. So if you guys are at home, you should be doing it like on your own. You should hit pause and try it on your own. Because, boy, this was not very successful. And I know why. So I hope you don't make the mistake again. All right, I'm done, but that means I have to give at least 60 more seconds because I don't think you guys have even had time to collab yet, so please collaborate. Like, but this one's like 91. I would think it's really hard. It's, oh my gosh. I would almost think I'm doing it wrong because it's really hard. Do you know why it's 91? Because it's different. But gosh, I would almost think everybody in this room, very doable that you could get this right. And each multiple choice question is worth 1.2. So there's like a little multiplier. So they can get to 54 points for the multiple choice and 54 points for your free response. Oh my gosh, come on, we're almost a week away, that's it. And then some of you are going to miss class next week, right? Because of your AP test? Bruh! Remember, I record. You better watch it.
All my AP tests are on videos.
Oh, lucky you.
What AP test?
AP CPS.
5,
8.
4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Oh my gosh, we are doing well. We are doing well. Good job. Does anybody have any questions? Right? You just had to do the product rule. And then f of 6 is just on the graph. But when they do the derivatives, it's just the slopes. This f prime is down 4 over 2. G is down 2 over 4. Right? That's it. Everybody gets a shot. Let's go. Can somebody make one? We are so close. It's going to happen today. It's going to happen, I'm telling you. We have to equally distribute shots. My team over here, Gendro Gavoni. We have to equally distribute. With one of those two ladies need to shoot, Mendez. You can't take them all. Yes, right now. Mendez, he really wants on that wall. But come on, we got to equally distribute. Oh my gosh! Loose! Oh, I got it. I got you. You're lucky. It has. Oh, come on. Let's go, Miss Gothorpe. She's been killing the class. Oh, shit. I get scared when she shoots with that, like, backhand release. Is that how you bowl, too? You go like... Oh! I'm just wondering if you bowl that way when you go bowling. Oh, no? Bowling is so fun. Oh, my gosh. You almost made it. Scott.
Always so close, you know?
Oh! I know, Miss Gavoni. Why do you want to shoot? You're always close. See, look at she's always close. All right, here we go. This one, boy. Should we give a whole team a shot? I think we need to. So your whole team gets a shot, but only if you get it right by skill. I mean, look at that, 8%. 3 out of 40. Bruh! You couldn't even guess it right. All right, let's see if anybody can get it. Everybody gets it. Now, this is a true 92, it must be. And because I didn't give you enough time. Actually, you maybe didn't get it because I didn't give you enough time. I did it. On the actual AP exam, you're going to be given a little bit more time than I gave you. Got that? So let's see if you can get it. But yeah, this one was not very good. So if you guys are at home, try it because I'm going to do some of it. God bless you. It's going to be all right. Yeah, that obviously didn't work because I'm sure people did that. You almost could use the fact that don't guess C. I don't know. See, I mean, it could be right. I better do it, make sure I can get it right. The important word here is the word must be true. Oh, easy peasy Japanesey. Ah,
I could be reading this wrong.
right, it's actually, I
I
actually don't think it's that bad at all.
It's not.
Well, I wouldn't be that little cocky there unless you tell you know you got it right there, tough guy.
Well, I would assume because
Assume, wow, I don't like to ever assume, but you be you.
I would like to infer
Oh.
that it's because
Well, yeah, it's got to be by skill. That's a good point.
Oh, yeah, there's just, I guess,
I'm like, can we keep on talking about math? Like, you learn so much by talking about math. Can we keep on collabing?
Did you try?
Board's up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Oh my gosh, we have the entire alphabet. Except C. You guys, shame on you. Since I already said earlier, don't get C, you guys put every letter but C. All right, what is the correct answer? Did you get 10 points if for everybody in your team that did this? Drew something that was concave up. You're frozen. Okay? You get 10 points for anybody that drew concave up. Okay? You get another 10 points if somebody drew the tangent line. What is the slope of that tangent line, class? It's 3. So a very intelligent student would have drew a slope of a tangent line that's 3. I mean, it just has to be kind of. Everybody buy that? Okay. So they tell me a whole bunch of things. That the tangent line is 3 at 1, correct? So then it says, let's look to the left of 1. Let's look to the left. What would the tangent line have to look like? Tangent line would have to look like this. Okay, that's the tangent line at 1. It's concave up, remember, right, class? What would the tangent line be there? What would its slope be? It'd be less. Does that make sense? What would the slope be here? It's always what? Less. A couple of these go to 1.1 further, but what would the slope be at 1.1? It'd be greater, right? So the only choice could be A. The only choice could be A. Does that make sense? The slopes would have to be less than 3. 2 teams got that. Was it by skill? Your whole team gets a shot. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody else, let's go. Do number 3. You want a shot? Let's do number 3. Oh, not that we did 2 last class. There it is. There's number 3. So everybody at home hit pause. Okay, this is 2022, number 3. Section, okay? And please ask questions when you struggle with something. But here we go. A, find f of 0. Okay, we've been through this many a times now. Okay, but I know we still struggle. Okay, whenever they ask you to find something with a graph like this, it means they will have to have given you an initial condition. Did they? Yes. They said f of 4 is equal to 3. So you write f of 4. And then you add to that the displacement. And the displacement would be from, since they gave you an initial condition at 4, they tell you to start at 4 and you have to go to 0. Because we want to know what f of 0 is. And then I'm able to find this as long as this is f prime of t dt. Or you can put x dx. Does not matter. Okay? Now, am I looking at a picture to get my answer, yes or no? Since I'm looking at a picture to get my answer, that means, well, that's 3. It means you better flip these. Why? Because they were backwards. They were not in order from lowest to highest. Now this should be able to give me the right answer of 3 minus, let me do parentheses. What would it be? Oh, 0 to 4 is just a half of a circle. So that's 1/2. The radius looks like it's 2. So it'd be pi 2 squared. Yes, everyone? So if I'm not mistaken, I get 3. Oh, shootsies. It's below, right, everyone? It's below. So that means that area is negative. So I get 2 negatives, which equals a positive. That's my answer. Shoot. Oh. So it says here that you get a point if you got that answer correct. Okay, so you get a point if you got that answer correct. There's a third point. I'll talk about it when we're done. Are we okay? So then to do f of 5 is a little bit nicer because you use your initial condition, but then you go 4 to 5, which is the actual order. So that negative won't throw you off, and it's above. Oh my gosh, is that all it is right there? You guys, that's just a half, right, you guys? That's just a half. So then if you use your initial condition, it'd be 3 plus a half, which is 3.5. That's a point. Now, if you got both of those right, you automatically get the third point. But let's say you got both of those wrong. Let's say you got both of those wrong. As long as you got this area right or this area right, they gave you 1 out of the 3 points. Make sense? So as long as you got negative 2 pi for this or 1/2 for this, you got 1 out of the 3. If you got both of them right, you're 3 out of 3. Are we okay? Yes? All right, let's go. Let's do B. And then I'm going to go over B in about like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's see how you guys did. Part B is worth, it's only worth 2 points. But I mean, it's huge that you do the first correct step, which it says point of inflection. So if it says point of inflection, everybody in this room knows that they better do a sign analysis for the second derivative. Yes, yes? But you have to understand, that's the graph of f prime. So if I want to relate f, remember, what goes on the sign analysis? Critical points, right? When f double prime would be 0 or DNE. Well, since f double prime is the derivative of f prime, it would be the slopes. So you should look and find out on this graph of f prime, where are the slopes? 0 or DNE? DNE. DNE. Everybody kind of with me? And then remember, since this is f prime and that's f double prime, what are the slopes? These slopes are negative because it's going down, then positive, then positive, then negative. So you get a point if you said there's a point of inflection at 2 and 6. Okay, you get the first point if you said it's a point of inflection at 2 and 6. Now remember, who got the reason right? Okay, that's the second point. The reason is, okay, the reason why those are points of inflection is because f double prime, which are the slopes of f prime, change signs. Got that? Or you could say like f double prime, which are the slopes of f prime, change from decreasing to increasing or increasing to decreasing. Make sense? Okay, but that's 2 points. You could be 5 out of 5. Are there any teams that are 5 out of 5? 2 teams? That's it? Shootsies! Which means, guess what? I have videos on my website where I do more problems like this. Could you watch them? I hope so. All right, let's do C. C and D get a little bit tougher. Okay, so let's make sure we can get those right. In 3 minutes, I'm going over it. Okay? Get moving. All right, here we go. Part C. Part C, big piece, is they introduce some brand new dude, G. Okay? They introduce some brand new dude, G. And G is f of x minus x. And they say, on what intervals is G decreasing? Which immediately you should think what? You should immediately think sign analysis, which means you should think derivative. And the derivative of G would be G prime of x equals f prime of x minus Ichiban. And so then what you need to do is do a sign analysis. But this time what you do is you need sign analysis for G prime of x. Well, that means you need to know when G prime of x is equal to 0, which would be when f prime of x minus 1 is equal to 0. Yes, yes? which you would need to know when f prime of x is equal to Ichiban. Correct? Ooh, you had to get a point for something here. Oh, you get a point for, you get a point just for this, what I just boxed. So you get a point for that. Okay, and then you just need to really know when f prime of x is 1, and it's 1 right there. Correct, everyone? That's when it's 1 right there. So if you wanted to, you could put an x equals 5 right there. And then all you need to know is, hey, from 0 all the way to 5, right, it's going to be negative. G prime is going to be negative. Okay, and you know that. Why? Because f prime of x, right? F prime of x is just whatever your value is. And you're just going to always keep on subtracting 1 from it. So then all you had to do for the other point was to say from 0 to 5, that's where it's decreasing. And your reason is because g prime of x is less than 0. Does that make sense? That got you the second point. That was not bad, right? Really different, though, right? Really different. And that's what the AP does, right? A is going to be familiar to us. B is going to be familiar to us. C was a little bit different. Now you only have 90 seconds to get D. I know a lot of groups are done already, but see how many points you can get for D. All right, here we go. Let's all take a look at it. Mr. Rodriguez did say it beautifully. We kind of already did part D and we've already kind of did the big part of D and C, because you need to define what G prime of, gosh darn it, God bless you. You needed to set G prime of x equal to 0, which we already did, right? Which that's when f prime of x is equal to 1, which would be at 5. So you get, see, why do you get that? All right, so you get a point if you did this stuff. Okay, you get a point if you did any of that. And then last, you just got to do your table. You got x, you've got g of x, because we're trying to find the absolute minimum of g. And as long as on this guy you put your endpoints, 0 and 7, and then you had to put your one critical point, which was 5, correct, everyone? And then you had to find g of 0. G of 0 is f of 0 minus 0. We found f of 0 above, right, you guys? Remember, in part A? So, like, if you got, just so you know, whatever you got for f of 0, and if you did this last part right, you don't get double whammied. You know, if you got, like, earlier f of 0 to be, like, -8, that's going to be your minimum for your problem. Does that make sense? The AP is not going to penalize you for that. But if you do this all correctly, you get 3 plus 2 pi, right? We already did that. Okay, g of 5 means you're going to do f of 5 minus 5, and we already did f of 5 right there. Okay, so if you do all of that correctly and subtract 5, my answer here says it's -3/2. And then you do have to do g of 7, which is f of 7 minus 7. So you do have to do that whole thing over again in order to find this, and that's -1/2. But that would be your absolute minimum value. So you get the second point for part D if you said -3/2 was your absolute minimum value. Everybody got that? All right, here we go. If you got 5 or 6 points, you get 1 shot. 7 or 8, you get 2. 9 out of 9, you get 3. Hurry up, let's take them. So if you guys are at home, you should hit pause on this one just to make sure you can get it. I'm thinking that we don't have a lot of answers. Ooh, we got some written down. Okay, 30 more seconds. This would be a multiple choice. So if you could get so far, you could at least take a good educated guess. If you could get so far. So I'll tell you what you should have been able to do. Okay? This has a 20% chance of showing up something like this. Board's up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. If you have an E in your problem, you did good. But unfortunately, nobody got it right. But if you had an E, you did well. Okay, here we go. You want to memorize this. Okay, you want to remember that this, you could separate and integrate, but boy, what a waste of time. That means this. Everybody with me? So 10 points if you wrote that down. I got to give you 10 because Even though somebody will make a shot today, I'm very confident. It does say when t equals 0, then there's 120. That means C would be 120. You get another 10 if you had that. That probably gets you a 50-50 chance. It does. Probably gives you a 50-50 chance. What would get you the perfect is if you knew how to find K. And they give you a rate. So if they give you a rate, isn't that dy dt? So then you should have put a 24 in for dy dt and a 120 in for y, because it's a constant rate. And then that means K would be equal to 24 over 120, which is actually 1/5. So the answer was y equals 120 e to the 1/5 t. Boom. That was not that bad. Yes? It's not that bad. It was not that bad. And if you didn't have this memorized, then yes, you could get it by doing 1 over y dy equals k dt, but oh yuck, it just takes forever, right? In multiple choice, you don't want to waste time. All right, here we go, number 4. Okay, let's do number 4. If we have time for some more multiple choice, we will do them. Okay, this is 2022, number 4. Okay, once again, non-calculator. It's got a right Riemann sum in it. It's got some related rates in it, so I thought it would be a really, really good problem to do. Remember, if you're not collaborating, it turns into our pop quiz. In every 3 minutes, we're going to go over a piece. Go, just keep rolling, but not all of us are, so please ask when you're not good. Like I said, this question is amazing. It has all of AP Calc in it. And they tried to trick you here. They said to find R double prime. But you know what's nice? Is they give us R prime. So you should know I just need a rate of change for R double prime. So R double prime, that's just an AROC problem, right, class? And 8.5 is between 7 and 10. So you should have did R prime of 10 minus R prime of 7 all over 10 minus 7. And make sure you show that. If you did that, you got a point. Okay? If you got the answer of 0.2 or 0.6 over 3, and you said centimeters per day, or per day squared, you got the second point. Are we good? Is everybody okay? Yes.
If you just put T because it says days, would that still count, or did you have to?
Say that again now.
If you put like T referencing days, like would you still get the point, or did you have to specify like days?
You mean instead of days
Yeah.
squared, you had T?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good, unfortunately. Yeah, whenever it says units, make sure you look right here. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they'll always give you your units. And it's centimeters per day on top and day on the bottom. That's why it's centimeters per day. Okay? Great question. Any other questions? That's a good one. If you got that one, you should feel really good. Right? This guy, like, at least 75% going to show up on our exam. Something of this table form. Okay, so you got to be good at it. All right, I'm going to be really excited if we knew what to do on B. We'll do it in 2 minutes. I think you guys did. I think if people are working, like you guys are diligently working, which means you're probably on part C, but we're going over part B really soon. Shoot, gosh, I'm going to be so... Please tell me you didn't fall into the trick. I got tricked right away when I read B. But then I just looked at the table and I'm like, oh no! All right, here we go. Part B. If you just read part B, I would think MVT 100%. Because whenever it says there's a time and you see R prime, that means MVT. But it's not MVT. It's IVT. Do you know why it's IVT? Because normally when we see this, that's just R of T. You guys understand me? But if that's R prime of T and that's R prime of T, it's an IVT problem. You understand? It's an IVT. So if you did IVT, give your team 100 points. I think that's amazing. But you better not have said IVT. You better have said intermediate value theorem. Yes, we've said this how many times? Maybe the 10 times you've missed. You have to rewrite it out. Okay, so here we go. This is how you get the points. Okay. Since R prime of T is differentiable, then we know that R prime of T is continuous. Right? You have to say that. The only way you're allowed to use the IVT is if it's a continuous function. Okay? And we're talking about R prime. So B is hard. Okay? So since you have to say all of this. And when we did the IVT, oh here, I'll write out the blanket statement I taught you. Do I expect you to remember it? No! But as long as you did it in your own words. So it should have been, part B should have been since. Okay, I'll write it all right here if you want to write it out again. Since r prime of t is continuous, and you had to make sure you said why it was continuous. Okay, it's continuous because r prime of t is differentiable, and differentiability implies continuity. So you had to have that somewhere in here. But since it is continuous and r prime of 0 is equal to negative 6.1, which is less than negative 6, and r prime of 3, the other endpoint, is equal to, what was it equal to? Negative 5, which is greater than negative 6. The intermediate values theorem, write it out, guarantees a value t such that r prime of t is equal to negative 6. That got you 2 points. You had to do all of that. All of that. You could do it in your own words. Okay? But that's the IVT. It's going to show up. It's going to show up. If it's free response, you got to write all that stuff down. If it's a multiple choice, it's kind of easy to get, to be honest. Everything in between has to be hit. That's what the IVT is. All right, let's see if you can get C. You want to check B? And I can check your guys' B's if you want me to come by and check. You said nothing about it. You would have gotten 1 out of 2. You would have gotten 1 out of 2 if you didn't mention the intermediate value. Stop that, make sure you say that, okay? Okay? But you would have got 1 out of 2. You have to mention the intermediate value theorem when it's intermediate value theorem. You have to mention the mean value theorem when it's mean value theorem. 60 seconds. And then we have to go over D pretty quickly too, you guys. It's unfortunately going to be quick. And I'm just going to put the answer to C up here, okay, in 30 seconds. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Everybody, please look up here. Here it is. If you just did RRAM, you get a point. So the right side. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4. You don't have to write that out either. You could just have this instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess what? You don't even have to do the math. Just leave it like that, and you get 2 points. Got it? Just leave it. Just leave it. If it's easy math, do it. But if it's like you could make a mistake, or only if you have time, do it, but they'll give you full credit. They'll give you full credit, all 2 points for that. If you do that and you make a mistake, then you lose it. Got it? So just don't do it. Okay? I don't tell you guys that during the year because it would drive me crazy to just, people do different things. Okay, but you get 2 points for that. Questions on that? Yes, no? All right, let's go. Let's do the related rates. It's the last one of the day. Last one, related rates. And I can't give much more time. I can give like 90 seconds. I'm going to do it up here actually while you guys are. So if you guys are at home, you should be pausing. The height of the cone decrease. Ooh, the height of the cone decreases. Oh, snappity dappity. Oh, you can get a lot of the points on this one, though, just by, like, I'm not going to tell you. So I feel like all right. Look up here. 543210. All right, here it is. All right. So believe it or not, you get a point. You get 2 points if you just remembered the product rule and you did it with related rates. You get 2 points. This is only worth 3. You get 2 points if you at least did the product rule. And I would have factored out the 1/3 pi. Everybody with me? I would have kept that on the outside. So you should have 1/3 pi on the outside and did r squared times h, but you have to have drdt and dhdt. Yes, yes? And then they give you everything except they don't give you drdt. But if you look at the table, they do. They say on the third day, r prime is -5. Does that make sense? So that was the hard part of the problem. Because then you could do it all and you could something's missing. But guess what? It was in the table. Does that kind of make sense, you guys? But so if you got that final answer, you get 3, and you wouldn't even have had to, you could have left the answer like this and they give you full credit. You could have left it like this. Don't you dare simplify that. Don't you dare simplify that. You get 1 point for doing the product rule. You get 1 point for remembering the drdt, dhdt. And then you get 1 point if you just have all of that in there. Hurry up, let's go. Let's take a shot. Let's go. You should be studying whatever you are not good at.